It's Diane, the Creative Inkster. It's Monday, February the 7th, and I'm here to have a little creative escape with you. Look at this shirt. So I haven't worn the shirt in a while, but isn't that a funky pattern? Like, totally. I have one just like it that's just the purple, like just the purple. But I thought this was a funky one. So even though I work from home, I try to get dressed up in work clothes, like dress shirts and dress pants, so that I'm not just wearing jeans and a t-shirt. And that kind of helps. I even put earrings and a necklace on, so we're getting going. All right, if you're here live, please let me know. Put a note in the comments so I know you're here. And if you're watching on the replay, leave a comment there too, because it's really great for me to know who's been watching and what you might have learned from this little escape we do on Monday nights. So here's the card that started it all. I received this card from my teammate Lee, and it looks just like a lovely little fold over card, but wait for it. It just keeps popping. What an awesome fun fold is this. And with this gorgeous, gorgeous paper, you really don't need to add a lot onto it. I think I said in the instructions you might want some kind of layer for your greeting. I'm going to do all mine on the inside layer here too. So let me show you the measurements for making this. First off, you're going to need a piece of regular cardstock and we're going to cut it at leave the 11-inch side and cut it at 5.5. You're going to use that leftover piece, so don't let it get too far away from you. And we're going to do a little bit of scoring. And then we need 4 pieces that are 1.5 by 5.25. So a 6 by 6. This is just a little bit bigger, but I'm going to cut it down. Hi, Valerie. You need a 6 by 6 in one pattern. And then you need a 2 3/4 square of another pattern that kind of coordinates. So I'm just going to cut this guy in half. So I'll show you that. And then you're going to need a 3 3/4 by 5.25. Now the way this works out, Lee had her measurements in such a way that this whole side on the right was your typical 4 1/4. And I wanted my pieces to be easier to measure out for me. I just couldn't figure out what she did. Hi, Brenda. And so I've got all the measurements on the folds, and that left me with a piece that is only 4-inch wide. So that's why my insert is 3 3/4 by 5.25. This piece panel on the right's a little bit different size. But hey, it works. It was easier than trying to figure another quarter measurement out. So here's Lee's card. Then I made a couple on the weekend. This is a fun, fun fold. So this paper is the celebration paper, the free paper. This is mint macaron, a color I have not used in forever and a day. But it goes so well with that crushed curry and the greens for the daffodils. And I just put a simple embellishment there. And then this one is more from that same pack, more flowers, but I mean, you could do anything with it. So here's how you can use a pattern that is very much up and down, as Lee did in her card, right? Her tulips go up and down. So yeah, you're definitely able to work with this. Now, one thing when I did my first one, I found that I ended up with this, when it went flat, this didn't quite go flat. Not that it matters, because when we fold it over, it's perfectly fine. So on my second one, I glued it differently so that this piece doesn't have a bump in the middle. Anyway, I don't think it matters much, because look, they close at pretty much the same place. All right, enough of that. Let's get to the stamping and crafting and cutting part. All right, so grab your piece of cardstock. This is your base piece. So on this one, I'm going with basic black. And I'm going to cut it to 11 by 5.5. Pull that in so that if you need to take a screenshot of it, you can. So a typical piece is 8.5 by 11. So with the 11 side there, I'm just going to cut this at 5.5. So that's going to leave a 3-inch piece. Okay, this piece is 3 by 11. We're going to need a 3 by 6 of it. So that's our mechanism here. That's our inner piece here. that folds over. So that's 3 by 6. So let's cut that off while we have the paper out. And we're going to score it in the middle. If it's 6 inches wide, we're going to score it in the middle at 3. Let's get that part done. There's our little fold in the middle piece. Tuck that aside. Back to our card base, we're going to do a bit of scoring. I'm going to slip the arm open here. And we're going to score at, let me move this over so you can continue to see it, 1 3/4. And your scoring tool is the lighter gray one on this trimmer. 1 3/4, 3 1/2. And you have to go back and forth a few times to make sure that it leaves a nice score mark. 5 1/4 and 7. Now if I'd followed the exact way that Lee had done her card, I would have a bigger piece on the right, but I'm totally fine with that. It's going to fit in the envelope, and it just was a lot less weird little measurements to do. Okay, so here with my card this way, this is the largest portion here on the right. What we're going to do is the fold. So we're going to fold this in and score it. Then we're going to fold the next 1 1/2 inch piece back and burnish it. That's what I meant to say, burnish, not fold. And then fold this piece forward and burnish. Just makes it easier. And fold this piece back and burnish. Then we can see a whole lot better what our accordion looks like. All right, let's get our pattern paper to go here. So the pattern paper is cutting, let me just get this here, 4 pieces at 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. So they're going to have a nice little border on the inside of this. So I'm going to use this paper that really does seem to have an up and down. I'm going to cut it down to 5 1/4 tall. I already know it's 6 inches wide and 5 1/4 tall. And I'll keep that for something else. So now I'm going to cut this evenly into 1 1/2 inch pieces. So 1, 2, I'm going to kind of keep them together because I'm going to put them back together in that same way. Not that it makes a big difference, but sometimes it just looks kind of pretty that way, to have the pattern flowing still. Okay, so there's my 4 pieces that are going to go back on, and while we have the paper trimmer out, we're going to cut this piece to 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So it was 5 1/2 wide, it's 2 3/4 tall, so we're just going to cut it in half. And there's our 2 pieces. See how they go together so nicely? They're going to go on this. Right, we're done with this for now. And let's do some stamping. So here's our white piece. It's 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And I have picked out a stamp and Old Olive ink. It's my go-to. It's my favorite. So this is Special Moments from Celebration. It's okay. We know what you meant. Good thing. Because sometimes I don't know what I mean. All right. Special Moments. And I'm going to say just a card to say you're amazing, because these are going to be going out in the mail to some of my team members who are amazing. So just a tip when you're using photopolymer stamps, it's easy to pick them up and just slap them on a block. The better way to ensure that you get it A, straight, not B, bubbly, is to leave your stamp on the table and take your block and line it up over top. That way you're not going to get a weird bubble in the middle. Okay? And yes, this block has my name on it. I should show you that. I had these etched for myself and my team one year as a Christmas present. I love, love, love to spoil my team. So they got their names on them on one of these D blocks. My daughter's friend Danielle did them for me, did a wonderful job. And that's just one of the perks of being on my team. So if you're thinking you want to place an order that's anywhere near $100, stop right there. Do not do it, even during celebration, especially during celebration. Now is when you want to spend um, your money wisely. And the kit, the starter kit, is $135. And for $135, you get to select 100 and for $135 you get to select $165 worth of product plus 2 free stamp sets of your choice. They can cost any amount. I don't even know what the most expensive stamp set in our line is right now, but I know people who have gotten $50 stamp sets for free. 2 of them, in fact. So whatever stamp sets you want, except hostess ones and except celebration ones. So you kind of forgo that. But you're going to be, if you bought all of that, cost you about $300, and you're only going to pay $135. So it is a good deal. Deal ends February 28th, so don't miss out. I'm just saying. All right, so we need this piece to go this way. So we've got the fold kind of sticking up towards us, and we're going to put these 2 pieces on here. Keeping in mind I want to have the flowers going in the same direction because they actually are directional on this paper. So yeah, I like to spoil my team members. They get to attend 3 to 4 free events a year where a group of friends and I that are demonstrators hold a one-day event that is 12, 13 hours long with stamping demonstrations every hour and prizes, and it's only open to our team members. And so you get that 4 times a year, sometimes 3 with each catalog launch anyway. And you get prize patrol, you get all kinds of fun stuff. Free tutorials from me, and as well as make and takes for $5 a month. It's a great deal. All right, so now we're going to add these layers in here. Okay, and I'm trying to keep them kind of in their order that they were in before. What is the measurements for the white piece? It is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. It's a weird size, and that's weird size, different size. It probably feels bad if I call it weird. Different size, because normally it's a little different. But in order to have these 4 panels being some normal size, I forewent getting that on the end. Long explanation. So I'm going to put these panels on here. These are all 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. Thanks, though, Debbie. I appreciate that. Hi, Nikki. Prepping pieces for Mystery Card Monday. You go, girl. Mystery Card Monday. It's fun. This is kind of my take on that. I was doing that for over a year, and just found that the mystery part and making lots of cards was not so much where I was at. I really love the teaching part, so I'm cutting mine back to half an hour to suit my life, and as a result, it's more teaching for me than it is about making lots of cards. But that's okay. We all do what we want to do. All right, so then once you've got those pieces down, then you want to glue this piece in place. And you don't have to, but what I did for my second round on it was I got it flat and then I glued down the edges. Now, important, you do not want to put glue here. You don't want to put it near the fold. You want to put it on the outside pieces. And if you kind of lay this down here, grab my trusty ruler, if I put the score line in the center and the score line in the center of this piece, I don't want my glue to go any further over than about 1 inch. Okay, because if you do, you're going to seal the thing shut, and that's not really the goal, is it? So I got some there. I got some here, and yeah, that's kind of 1 inch, or a little under 1 inch, you know. All right, so I'm going to put this down the middle so I have a reference point. Let's see, it's about the same inch, same measurement on either side. It's like 3/8 of 1 inch. Perfectamundo. Now, if I didn't use liquid Tombow glue, I wouldn't have to worry about letting it dry. But because I did, I probably want to think about letting it dry. So I'm going to do this, and look at that. Is that not gorgeous? I mean, this paper just does it all. So I'm going to add some little embellishments over here on the right. This is polished pink in this paper, and I know that these are a little bit different pink. They're supposed to be the Blushing Bride, but just a little bit different colors. So, oh yes, I wanted to fold this over and place it so that my little embellishments did not go over that foldy flap piece. So let's see if I, whoops, grab them from across the table. And then one more here. I guess there's no other way to do this, is there? That's okay. It'll still be fine in the mail. Okay, so there we go. There's one done. I'm going to show you another one. I've got the pieces mostly cut for it. It's slightly different. So this one I'd cut it already. This is that piece of cardstock for the main card base. And it measures 11 by 5 1/4. I'm going to put those scoring measurements back up here for you. Just grab it here. So it's 11 by 5 1/2. And with the 11 side along the top, yeah, it is pretty paper, isn't it? I'm going to score it at 1 3/4. Three and a half, 5 1/4, and 7. And that's what gives me this 4-inch panel on the right. While we have this, we're going to take this 3 by 6 piece that was left over from cutting the card base. And we're going to cut it, we're going to score it rather in half at 3 inches. Let's make sure it's exactly 6 inches. Yep. Scored in half at 3. So that's ready for our little panel. These pieces are already cut. I've cut 2, so I'm doing something a little bit different on this one. And then this piece is, let's see, it's 5 1/4 by 6. So I'm going to cut it into 4 equal pieces of 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. 1 1/2, and that's the measurement on the standard Stampin' Up paper trimmer. The little measurement to the right, when you go over to the right here, that's 1 1/2 inches. There we go. That's all the cutting and scoring we need to do. And this piece is polished pink. So we're going to fold the big piece over. I found if you keep that 4-inch wide segment to your right and you work around that, it's a little bit easier to keep track of where you're doing your folds. So then we're doing a back and forth accordion type fold. And the last piece back here. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. And, oh, did I have a piece of white? Yeah, I do. It's just hidden. No, it's not hidden. Okay, we need a piece of white. That's all right. I can add my piece of white afterward. So we're going to put this on here and do our 4 little pieces. These 1 1/2 by 5 1/4 inch stirrups. You could also flip them over. I think that was my original plan, was to maybe use the black and vanilla, but that's okay. Changing them up on the fly. There's 1, 2, 3. Where's the 4th one? Oh, ha ha. Are they stuck? I don't know. Oh, there it is. I don't know how things go missing, but they do. They go missing on your table. Like, you just put your dimensionals down for a second. Does that ever happen to you? And they're gone. It's like It's like something just vacuums them right up. I don't know how that is. I can see myself taking my dimensionals and putting them over here on my left where I usually put them when I'm crafting. That's how predictable I am. And suddenly they're hidden underneath something. I need a bigger table. Bigger table and a longer reach. That's what I need. Because I want everything nice and close to me. That's 2, 3. Often happens. I know. It's the table. I think the table swallows them up or something. And if there's something you're looking for you can't find, for me, it's dimensionals and glue dots. So those are the things that just seem to disappear. I don't usually have trouble finding the bone folder or the scissors, sometimes, but not all the time. Just weird. Okay, so there's that part. Now we've got our little mechanism here, which is 3 by 6. And what I did this time was I cut some in-between layers, and I'm going to layer this up extra like that for the centerpiece, just to give it a little bit more je ne sais quoi. So it's still a 3 by 6. This guy here is 2 7/8 square, and this is still 2 and this is 2 1/2. Oh, right, because I wanted to be able to see the lines. That was what I was going for. So the measurement change is these are 2 7/8 inch square to fit on like that, and this is 2 1/2 inches. You could do 2 3/4. I just wanted more of the lines to show on there. Okay, play with it, make it your own, have fun with it. You know, once I've done 3 or 4, I'm ready to change it up a little bit. So I'm using this as a mat. I like this checkered paper. It's quite pretty. And then my piece here. So the checkered piece is that polished pink and pale papaya together. Kind of pulls those colors together. Yeah, I think I meant to use the black and vanilla. This is a certain pop of color. That's okay. The person who receives it will be thrilled to receive it and not think about what I could have done on the other side. And you can add ribbon to this, and you can add embellishments to this. I'm putting it this way to match because make sure the lines kind of go in the same pattern. Once again, that's me looking at it closer than probably the average bear. Okay. And this guy goes down here. There we go. Had a stamp go missing, couldn't find it, ended up in kitchen stuck to your shirt. Yes, yes. I had a longer table in my craft room at our house, and I loved it. Now I just have a small desk and lose everything. Okay, go figure. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so let's open this guy up, and then we're going to put him in here. Okay, this is a very big pop of color. Remember, we don't want more than 1 inch of adhesive or it's going to seal something shut. Okay, tomorrow night I'm back, and I have a plan. I have a technique to share with you. And I'm going to post, well, it's scheduled to post. We're going to do a one-sheet wonder. And it's going to be the quickest 4 cards you ever made. All right, so watch for tomorrow at 5 o'clock, I think it's scheduled, maybe earlier. It's scheduled to post and give you what you need in order to follow along. Or you could just, make it on your own afterward. Okay, I have to add a piece of white to the center, to the edge of this, and then add my greeting, and then I'm ready to send these off to my amazing team members. So thank you to Lee for this fabulous card layout. Some of these are similar cards. And they just want to pop, literally, pop right up. But they'll fit perfectly in an envelope. So thanks for joining me, ladies. Have a lovely evening. And I will see you next time. Bye for now. Yes, one sheet wonders, I love them too. And this is one that we're going to stamp. So you're going to, I'm suggesting you have 3. It's okay, I'm going to tell you right now. It's a recipe called my 1, 2, 3, 4 recipe. And that is 1 sheet of paper, 2 embellishments, ribbon and pearls, or ribbon and some kind of gem. 3 is 3 ink pads, and 4 is 4 card bases. So the 1, 2, 3, 4 recipe for making a one sheet wonder. And so instead of cutting up a piece of pattern paper, we're actually going to we're going to stamp and cut it up. So stay tuned. Alrighty, thanks again. Bye for now.